And I like made out with girls, but it was really under the pretense of like, I had been drinking at a high school party or college, and you do it for like shock value. And her and I are already like making out, going at it, and doing all the things that I've probably wanted to do like my whole life, obviously being attracted to girls. And he comes in and it's just like, oh my God, this is so perfect. Her body is incredible and I'm so into it, but I'm like, that's right. There's also like a penis.
Another person too.
And another person.
There's been moments when I've had threesomes with my partner and like a friend that I really love. And when I just like focused all my attention on how much I loved both of them and how I want to see them happy and enjoying themselves, you know, I want to see my partner like pleasuring other people and being pleasured by other people.
So let's dive in. Actually, she was a really good friend. And I had, you know, I haven't really talked about this yet, but I knew I was attracted to women from like a young age, like high school. I remember thinking like women were beautiful. My friends were hot. And I like made out with girls, but it was really under the pretense of like, I had been drinking at a high school party or college, and you do it for like shock value. You do it to like impress the boys, you know, because that's kind of what is impressed upon us is like the thing to do. So she and I had chemistry for sure. And we were friends for about 2 or 3 years at that point. And there was just always a little something between us. And we were at a party one night. It was actually New Year's Eve. And there was just like such vibes. And it's really funny because I'm like, oh, it's this accidental threesome. And Pasha always makes the joke that he masterminded it. I'm like, no. Like, it's like the most
That's how I always feel about all of my threesomes though.
That
I'm always like,
how can I make this happen?
You just like sprinkle things in like little statements and jokes to like, it's like sparking a fire. And then when they like it starts, you're like, I don't know. That's how I feel about it.
And you watch
I'm like, what's happening?
Wait, what's your sign?
Gemini.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's how I always felt that way about my threesomes. Okay, so Pasha felt like he was masterminding.
He thinks he masterminded, but meanwhile, she and I had been having these like, you know, very like deep talks, and we had like a very
intimate
good friendship, intimate moments.
Totally.
But nothing had ever happened. And I think we're both sort of shyer women. And as like sexually liberated as I am, I still would identify as on the shy side, especially about my sexuality. So I think we probably needed someone with a little masculine energy to come in and drive it. And I remember she was there by herself, like with us. We were with a big group of people, and she was like, "Oh, well, who am I going to kiss at midnight?" And Pasha was like, "You can kiss Jessica." So of course, you know, and I'm like, I don't know, 27 or 8 at the time. So of course we have our like the ball drops, our midnight kiss, and then we just like keep kissing. We're at a nightclub in Vegas. And the funniest part of the story is Pasha's dad is also at this nightclub. So my father-in-law is at this nightclub with us at the table for my first threesome, essentially. So like my, you know, amazing, sweet, super charming Persian father-in-law is there to essentially witness the inception of what then becomes open late on Sundays. So obviously there was a lot of champagne. The kissing kept happening. And at one point we were like, you know, the nightclub is dwindling down, and we're like, well, we should probably get out of here.
I have a question.
Yeah.
At what point did her and Pasha have like first physical contact? Do you remember that?
Oh my God, I wish I did. I'm because I know you sure.
Most of my threesomes I've been drinking too.
Yeah.
So like I remember.
It's so funny to be kind of at this point too. And I drink a lot less than I did when I was younger. And it's kind of sad because I'm like, oh wow, I don't remember the full story.
That better, right?
But I actually want to say that it was in the cab ride home. Which I was like cabs. We took cabs back then. There were
these things called cabs.
Which was the hottest cab ride I've ever been in my life.
Taxi cab confessions, moment.
Full on.
I used to masturbate to that. I might masturbate to this later.
Oh my God, you might. Here it goes.
Sorry.
So
just gonna ASMR this for us.
We got in the back of the cab, and no, it was. I
was like, girl.
It was literally I kind of forgot until this moment, like how ridiculous this ride was. Okay, do you want to hear the funniest part? This was the longest taxi cab ride from the Vegas Strip to my house ever. And I'm pretty sure that the guy just kept driving in a circle. Of course. Because almost everything happened in the back of the cab. Like her dress came up. I was like going down on her. This was the first time I ever went down on a girl. I was like,
in the back of a taxi cab
in Vegas. Sorry, Mom. And
that's so cool.
And then she and Pasha were kissing, and I remember being so turned on because it was the first time I had ever seen him with another woman, and I knew that would turn me on.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't a lot of fear there for me. I was like, yes, let's go for it. This is like my own real life porn, and I just
with like two people that you have like really intense feelings about too. Like, and you want to see them happy. There's a word for that. It's called compersion. When you feel pleasure, you get pleasure out of your partner feeling pleasure, which it's so cool to like, I mean, that's just like the most beautiful perspective to have, especially when it's two people that you really care about. I think you're more likely to have that feeling.
Yes. I remember sitting back and thinking, oh my God, they're so beautiful, like together. And then the three of us, it's like, there's just more, it's more of what's good.
Yeah.
And I do wish that people could like take off the filter of like bad and wrong and taboo, because
some people have that mindset of like, they only have so much love or affection to give. Mm-hmm. It's the scarcity mindset compared to the abundant mindset of like, we have more than enough. There's always going to be enough for me and for my partner to give like someone else like love or affection.
Yeah. I love the statement, love doesn't subtract. It only multiplies.
Totally.
And it's like when you have like more of something that's beautiful, just like overflows. So
gorgeous. Okay, so you're in the cab.
In the back of the cab.
Everything happens.
Everything's happening. I think everything except
the cab
like
driver's like, oh no, I missed the turn again for the 7th time.
Pretty much. I'm like,
he's like, don't worry, I turned off the meter like 7 wrong.
He's like, actually, I'm going to pay you guys.
No, we should have.
He's like, you know what? This is supposed to be $36. Here's $100. Keep the change. Buy the girls breakfast.
As someone who like, I literally used to masturbate to Taxi Cab Confessions on HBO. Like the shit in the back of that. Like, first of all, this is incredible. But to be him and actually see it, yeah, he definitely should have paid you guys.
Yeah. So we get home, and I think she and I go right upstairs, and I basically am like, can you make us drinks? Like, I get super bossy. Oh, that's right. Pasha said that. Oh my God, it's like memory lane.
Yeah.
Pasha said that like I got really bossy, and I was like, do this for us, do that for us. And he like loved it because I kind of took charge, and I am generally pretty submissive in the bedroom, especially with him. I mean, at least at that point. Now I kind of like playing with power dynamics, and I like switching a little bit. But I remember being like, I think he opened like a bottle of wine. So he like brings it upstairs, and her and I are already like making out, going at it, and doing all the things that I've probably wanted to do like my whole life, obviously being attracted to girls. And he comes in, and it's just like, oh my God, this is so perfect. Like her body is incredible, and I'm so into it, but I'm like, that's right. There's also like a penis,
another person too,
and another person. And it just was incredible. Like we did all the things. I think it started very sensual once we got into my bedroom, and Pasha very much likes to take his time, especially when he's like really enjoying something. That's what I appreciate most about him.
That's amazing.
Yes.
That's literally the opposite of what
most men. Yeah. I mean, he goes in his I'll give him a lot of credit, but when he's busy, he likes quickies. And I'm like, I need a little time to warm up. And, we've been married for 7 years now. But his normal speed, is that to really go slow. He like loves to savor.
I was just going to say the word savoring is right at the same time as you.
He loves to savor. So, and this was not his first threesome with 2 women. And he was just like, very much sitting back, letting us do what we wanted to do, but also like, this is what I want to do, diving in. And I remember like him checking in with me a lot and checking in with her, which was really important. And I didn't even realize that was important then. Now that I'm talking about it kind of for the first time and like really unpacking it, it's like, wow, okay, I have such an incredible like powerful masculine that knows how to have everybody feel safe and feel seen.
That's how things go wrong, is when, someone's like stirring in their emotions instead of just like dealing with it right away, like when you let it get in your head. So if you're constantly checking in with people, it's before it like turns into an actual problem.
Yeah.
That you never want to have a bad threesome.
Yeah. And it's so true because they can go really wrong if someone like has an agenda and they just like want to drive and it's like, this is what I'm going to do. Now you go here. Now you go here. They don't even tell you and they start moving and switching and you're like, oh, okay, hold on.
Yes. It should be a 3-way dance.
Yeah.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Which it was. It was so great. It was like, what do you want to do next? What do you want to do next? And
I think the most beautiful threesomes is always like, everybody together, but you also have to take turns sometimes because it's 3 people. Logistically, like sometimes one person just goes off to get a glass of water.
Yeah. Well,
and watching is like, and watching is beautiful. Like you said, it's like your live porn for you.
Yeah.
It's literally live porn.
And you do need a break. I mean, you mentioned it gets exhausting. I mean, we went at it all night because for me, and I think for her too, well, I know it was her first time. And I think for him, it had been a while. And I think probably the buildup, Posh and I are both like very sexual. We both have like we have Scorpio in our chart and we both have high sex drive. So this thing went all night and there were breaks that were taken. And it was the first time that I really got to sit back and watch and see what he looks like having sex, not being in the act, which was incredible. And then to like share at such a new stage for us too. We weren't together for very long. It was
how long?
It was actually like, we'd maybe been together a year. Anyway, it wasn't that long.
Early on.
So we're like monogamous,
Yeah.
We had never even talked about
becoming monogamous.
Yes.
This was like the very first thing that was like monogamous. You guys had you discussed it at all?
Never.
Did you have friends that did it? Did you talk about them?
No, nope, not a single thing. Like this was completely.
It's beautiful. It's so organic.
It was so organic. Like
I love that.
And the beauty of it was I was like so in it.
Yeah.
I didn't have like I have a lot of fear. Like I was sharing my high school and college days of like, oh my God, what is this going to mean? And that did come up for me after. But in the moment,
what does this mean?
Yeah. In the moment, I was like so in. Probably also a lot of alcohol, but I remember just like feeling so safe and letting myself just go there. And the cool thing is I was able to like climax and then so many times and she was too.
Of course.
That was just like, I was like, oh, okay. Not only are we so good at this,
we're
also really good at this for other people. And
you're like, we're so good at this.
I remember being really proud. I was like,
so
oh,
cool.
It's not just my body that he like knows really well. Like he's really good in bed.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. You're welcome, Tasha.
I love I want to see that, I want to see my partner like pleasuring other people and being pleasured by other people. And I think that when you put your energy towards that, it's like, instead of putting all your energy into not feeling jealous, just focus your attention on the good things. And like, there's been moments when I've had threesomes with my partner and like a friend that I really love. Mm-hmm. And when I just like focused all my attention on how much I loved both of them and how I want to see them happy and enjoying themselves, that feeling would literally disappear.
Yeah.
Like that was the easiest thing for me, And so I think that, we want more love and affection in the world. This is definitely the direction.
Okay. This is like, that's so sweet. And it made me think of this saying that's like a little bit corny, but I love it. One of my old coaches would always say, when in doubt, focus out. And so like, if you're doubting anything, if you're having fear about anything in your own life, focus out on the people that you love and what you can do for someone else. Totally. And like, it applies sexually, it applies everywhere, but it's such a true statement.